You guys want to see a magic trick? Watch this. Oh, yeah. Dominoes are falling, boys and girls. Buckle up. This was brought to you by BetUS. Let's roll the thing intro. Another domino has fallen, and they can continue to fall, which could lead to one of, if not the best class the Buffs have ever had when it comes to recruiting. We're going to talk all about it today. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And Buff fans kind of little froggy still after that tough loss against Kansas. So let's bounce back. Still got a lot to work on. Look, still a lot to look forward to. First being London Merritt, decommitted from Ohio State today. Edge, who's been visited twice. We've been talking about him. Could he be one? He was part of that visitation class with Christian Hudson from mainland Florida, who's already committed alongside Nathaniel, who goes to IMG, right? London Merritt, IMG as well. And keep up with this IMG because it's going to be a trend for this video. So buckle up, Buttercup. 4-star edge has been fong-bombed now to Colorado. Again, we felt that it could be a possibility, and here it comes. Things are starting to look aligned, but that wasn't the only fong bomb today. We had some 2 fong bombs, which makes you believe could more be heating up along the way. The other one, which excites me here, the psychopath, let us come out the back. Alexander McPherson, defensive lineman, absolutely massive in size. Again, another IMG recruit, creating a massive pipeline right now. Again, Jordan Seaton, for those who don't remember, IMG as well. Coach Prime loves his Florida boys. These are 2 IMG commits, crystal balls that would be going to Colorado. Now, a lot of these guys kind of visit along the same time. London Merritt, Alexander McPherson, Nathaniel, who we're going to talk about, the 5-star linebacker, right? There's another one that we're going to be getting into in just a few moments here. Things are really starting to ramp up a little bit, up to a point where, look, could more follow? Could more see what's happening here? Again, the Julian Lewis commit, the 4-star quarterback, was absolutely huge on being able to build a higher quality class. If they land everybody that we're going to talk about in this video today, that would put them at 15 total commits, which we'll talk about again. 15 total commits. Where does that end up with the class? I'll tell you all those things because it's going to be interesting to see because this is going to be, again, one of the highest rated classes that Buffs have had and that Coach Prime has had. And we still know what Coach Prime does in the portal. So if you tier this with a top 25 class, yeah, that's what we're looking for. Plus, you're still going to finish with a top 3 portal class, which he's done now 2 years in a row. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And at a time where the Big 12 seems to kind of still be, mixed up and doing its own thing. Again, I know big focus going into this Saturday are these two of the 3 teams that are in front of them, BYU, Iowa State, and Arizona State. 2 of them need to fall. I know that to me the big focus. And look, so before we get into the other 2 commits here, the other 2 possibilities, let's talk about this weekend's game. Look at the spread here. -17 for the Colorado Buffs against Oklahoma State, which is in fact the last team in the Big 12. So you got to assume that that's a prime reason of why they're favored by more than double digits here. And look, Colorado, I got to believe they're going to go out there and play with a vengeance. Be sure to check out BetUS.com. Use the code YouTube150 to get back 150% on your first deposit, then 125 on your next 2 when you go to BetUS.com and use the code YouTube150 to take advantage of this. Again, we've been feeding families with these. We did not feed too many families last week. But this one here, look, I think Colorado has to make a statement. They know that. They know that they kind of got a little intoxicated with the celebrity status that came with winning a lot of games. And I look for a big bounce back game. Being noon, too, they know that, hey, like there's still a lot left on the table. BYU, the other teams they play later on, right? So keep that in mind for them to really rock and sock on this Oklahoma State team. The Oklahoma State team didn't got much to build on. Keep in mind, this team was picked to win the Big 12 or be in the Big 12 championship at the beginning of the year, which is funny because now they're dead last. Anyways, Nathaniel here. Again, this is somebody who's not going to make an announcement until December 4th, which is just literally a week away. Tomorrow will be a week away, which is National Signing Day. It's going to be mayhem. I think, look, I mean, I don't know for certain, but it feels like we're rolling into this with not too many of the biggest guys signed yet. They're all kind of waiting around. Maybe they're committed, but they've kind of announced like, hey, I'm making my final decision still on this day. And I got to believe they're playing a leverage card, right? They're going to see like what team really wants them bad enough and will force their hand and maybe send it because they maybe that team is, they're playing their side like, hey, did we get this person? Did we get that person? Or we didn't? And maybe they overreach or they overspend or vice versa. So kudos to these guys when they've got an opportunity to make it happen, they can. So again, part of this. London Merritt, Alexander McPherson, this IMG, all these guys. When I was putting the calculator, I go, holy crap, like, there's a common trend here. All IMG guys. Could you see a huge movement of IMG commits happening again? If Nathaniel were to fall alongside another 5-star who we've been talking about, this one to me would be the big one. This would be bigger than Julian Lewis because, again, trench work is incredible. 5-star tackle who's committed to Alabama. So not only do you land back-to-back years the top offensive lineman, but now you're stealing one from Alabama. I mean, that is making a statement if I've ever seen one. And then you would sweep the IMG pipeline essentially with those 4 or 5 commits if you were able to flip Michael Carroll. And I go, look, the production that Seton has had this year has to speak volumes. And then when you take a look at this class, I've got to pull it up over here. All of a sudden, the trench work is incredible. You got Michael Carroll, again, I'm adding that 6'6", 315, 5-star commit inside offensive lineman. Then you go down just a little bit, Chauncey Gooden, 6'4", inside offensive lineman, 320. Then you go down a little bit more, Jay Gardenhire, 6'8", 350, offensive tackle. 3 guys in the trench work. Alexander McPherson, defensive line. Christian Hudson, defensive line, 6'1". Alexander McPherson is 6'5.5", 240. Put him about 40 more pounds. That guy's going to be an absolute mess. Then you have, of course, London Merritt, edge, Nathaniel, linebacker. I mean, the trench work, linebacker work, absolutely phenomenal. Not to mention wide receivers, but those guys have no issues pulling wide receivers when they need it. So something to keep a big eye on. Again, if they land all these guys, I'd put the total class at 227 with 15 commits at a top 25 class. Could there be more? Possibly. These are the names that have been high on the list for Colorado. And again, that would be monumental paired with a top 3 portal class. Like we've said before, these guys are going after aren't just recruits for the future. They're going to be guys that make an impact right away. So you can't think like, oh, they don't have 25 commits. That's never been the game. 15 would be more than what they've done before. I think they're changing it a little bit. So something to keep an eye on for sure. But be sure, again, to smash the like button, keep the bell turned on in case any one of these guys do pop. You know, we'll be live. We'll be talking about it. And if I don't see you until then, be sure to have yourself a happy Thanksgiving. And, of course, this show is brought to you by BetUS. Peace and love, baby.